So, Real Madrid get it done in the end. They end up getting the W against Olympiacos away at Greece, a stadium that they haven't really got a good history of going and winning. And I think this is the first time they're actually beating Olympiacos out there. It did end Real Madrid winning the game by 4 goals to 3. And I'll be honest with you, man, that game, incredible. So many things to talk about. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't happy. We were hoping for Olympiacos to do us a favor, and it looked like we had the good signs for it. But in the end, it ended up being a 4-3 game. Entertaining game for the neutrals. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like it was a very, very entertaining game. There was a better back and forth. Obviously, 7 goals scored in the game today, but really, guys, there was a lot of things that we really need to talk about as far as that game today was concerned. First thing I need to say is, as far as the Madrid side is concerned, there was a lot of things to talk about. Now, before I talk about the breakdowns, right, I do want to talk about the game in general, right? So, Alonso today, he brought the same lineup. He brought the 4-2-3-1 formation in this game against Madrid, and he made some big changes. Jude Bellingham today was benched today. Vinicius was back in the lineup, and we're going to talk about him. Kylian Mbappé obviously in goal, and they had Federico Valverde out on the right wing position. And it was a weird lineup at first when I saw it, but it was definitely effective. It started well. Olympiacos getting an early goal right before the first 10 minutes, and honestly, I was over the moon. And, it was not looking good for Madrid, but they picked themselves up. And in the end, Kylian Mbappé ended up getting the equalizer from a Vini assist. And listen, we all know, there's been a lot of talk between these two, right? Who should, who's holding back, why is one player not doing the job, and why is one of the players always performing? But Kylian Mbappé today, what a performance from him. He got not a hat-trick, but 4 goals. He scored the equalizer, and before these guys could even react, it was already 2-1. Kylian Mbappé getting the second, and before you know it, 7 minutes, it was a hat-trick. It was looking absolutely insane. You were looking at that game thinking, Madrid could literally run riot out here. That's the energy that they brought in the game. That's really the energy that we saw today, right? Vinicius had a goal that was disallowed for offside, I think. And, Vinicius today, I will say this, right? For all the criticism that he's been getting, that, without a shadow of a doubt for me, was his best performance of the season. And he didn't even score. But that performance today, if he continues that kind of performance, Madrid are going to be scary. His link up today with Kylian Mbappé is everything that a lot of these Madrid fans have been dreaming of. It worked perfectly. You could see today, Vini was extremely selfless today. He was trying to get in the right positions. And also, importantly, Kylian Mbappé today was in his position. He wasn't drifting out on the left, staying on Vinicius' side. He was giving Vinicius the space to do his work. And Kylian Mbappé was doing his job in the middle. And it worked out. They got a hat-trick at the end of the first half. It ended up slowing down around the tail end of the first half, went to second half, and you were thinking Madrid are going to gain the momentum, they're going to go forward and try to get more goals. But no, Olympiacos got the second goal. And all of a sudden now, you were thinking, we got a game in our hands. What a game this could be. It was going back and forth, right? In the end, man like Vinicius, like I mentioned, again cooked the defense. He got the assist to Kylian Mbappé, and Kylian Mbappé today got 4 goals. And I feel like he's going to get a lot of the headlines, obviously, because he got 4 goals today. But you got to give some respect to Vini. I know he doesn't get, he's one of these players, who gets a lot of criticism for, his antics and stuff. But I'll be honest with you, right? Vinicius today really impressed me with not just how well he played, but how calm he was. You could see he wasn't getting frustrated. He wasn't losing his mind. He was calm today. And I feel like what we saw today, if we see more of this, I think he could get back on his feet again, right? And this is the kind of way I would like to see Vini play a lot more, right? Just focus on his game, focus on himself, not get into the whole petty stuff, you feel me, right? And not get too frustrated, just keep locked in, right? I genuinely think that's what he needs to do more of. And like I mentioned, Kylian Mbappé is going to get more of the plaudits, but really, he had a great game, but I think Vini today stole the show. Shout out also to Arda Güler, right? He got assist, I think, it might have been the second goal for Kylian Mbappé or the third one, right? I'm not sure, but he also had a great game today. But really, that's where the positives is, because the negatives was the defense. The defense wasn't good today. Sorry. Once again, defense was trash. The defense didn't do their job today at all. They were getting absolutely cooked. And like I mentioned, it was 3-2. It ended up being 4-2 thanks to Kylian Mbappé. And it was comfortable until, like I mentioned, the defense went to sleep. And then Olympiacos got their third. And all of a sudden now, the pressure was back at Real Madrid when it looked comfortable. And look, Real Madrid, they were really lucky around the end. I think if you look at around the tail end of the game, Olympiacos had two great chances to get an equalizer, right? They were pushing and pushing and pushing. Al-Arabi, right? He was absolutely doing well, right? He nearly got a hat trick. I think he scored twice today, but he was absolutely amazing. He was cooking after he got that third goal. He looked like he was going to get another, but it was unfortunate. And in the end, like I mentioned, Real Madrid ended up getting the win. Now, I will say this, right? My honest assessment of the whole game, I think if you look at the scoreline, you would think, Madrid scrapped it. But if I'm going to be honest, right, it speaks volumes. I think that when you look at Madrid in the entirety of the game, they were comfortable for a large stretch of it. I think when they went 1-0 down, it woke them up. They woke up very quickly. And the momentum that they had in those first 7 minutes when Kylian Mbappé got that hat-trick, it was scary, right? They looked like they were going to go run riot and get like 6 goals. In that first half alone, they looked like they were going to get 4 or 5, right? And that kind of intensity is what they need, right? And also, I will say this. Today's duo of Kylian Mbappé and Vinicius today, it worked perfectly today. This is the best I have seen those two in any game since I've seen Kylian arrive. I'm not going to lie. You Madrid fans in the chat, you tell me when you guys have seen these two have this kind of bond or this kind of connection in a game. But I haven't seen this before. It's not just the fact that, Vinny had goals today. Vinny had 2 assists today from Kylian Mbappé goals. That's not really it. It's more of the fact that you could see that these two players were, the chemistry worked today between the two, right? Neither of them was trying to get in each other's way, right? Vinicius today had his freedom on that left, like I mentioned, right? Kylian Mbappé wasn't drifting. Kylian Mbappé was making sure he was in the middle. And you saw today, every time Vinny had the ball, Kylian Mbappé was in the middle. He knew that Vinny would put the ball in the right positions, right? And this is clearly something I feel like maybe these two have realized that, they have kind of had issues with. I mean, we remember the Rayo Vallecano game, right? Kylian Mbappé was moving too much on the left. Vinny was getting frustrated because he was trying to cross into the box and Kylian wasn't in the middle. And in this game, clearly they learned their lesson. And look, I will say this now. Real Madrid have a lot of problems defensively because they conceded 3 today. But if this duo continues in the way they are, it will be an improvement on them. Because here's the thing. Watching the game today, Kylian Mbappé scoring 4, it probably is, for me, the con in this game. Because Kylian Mbappé is really their only attacking outlet that is really putting in the goals. And what happens when he doesn't play well is night and day. We saw in the last 3 games, he wasn't playing well. They drop points. Today is the first time in a long time we've seen Kylian Mbappé cook, and he actually ended up cooking and giving Madrid the win. So, it is what it is. And like I mentioned, the defense is trash. Raul Asensio, trash. Trash. This guy is so overrated, right? A lot of the players today didn't do well in defense. They had Lunin in goal. I don't know why they put Lunin in goal today. I don't know. Maybe you guys in the chat could tell me why Courtois didn't play today. But, yeah. I don't think Lunin was bad, but dude, you considered 3 goals. It wasn't good enough. But look, credit where credit is due. At the end of the day, we've got 3 more games in the Champions League group stages left. Madrid just need the 3 points, and they're gonna take those 3 points. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Next up for them is Manchester City, and Manchester City have their own problems. But so far, Real Madrid in big games, it's not been impressive. And they're going to definitely need Vinny and Kylian to turn up in that game. But let me know what you guys think about the game in the comment section below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And yeah, man. Peace. Take care.